welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. We bring you the right information to empower you, the SME entrepreneur. Tonight on the show, to the influencer conversations. First up is Calco Poly Technik, and on the other side for break, Tradeo Hub is in focus. Our first special conversation tonight on the influencer is with Calco Poly Technik. They're a leading player when it comes to high-performance engineering plastics. I'm being joined now by Varun Gupta. He's the director of Calco Poly Technik. To understand more about the company, Varun, thanks for your time here on the Leaders of Tomorrow tonight. My first question for you, let's set the stage by talking about the company and the business and what you want our viewers to know about Calco Poly Technik.
Well, Calco as a group, we are focusing on high-performance polymer, color and additive solutions. Well, at Calco, we are primarily focused on providing innovative solutions for the plastic industry that goes from the concept stage to the implementation stage, where we cover different market verticals: automobiles, electrical, appliance, industrial, and we basically try to provide them with solutions through raw materials, where a designer can envision something unique, and we as the intermediate supplier can provide them with suitable solutions which can really see the end of the implementation stage. At Calco, we are driven by key strategic principles of innovation, sustainability and continual growth, which are the foremost principles on based of which all our group companies and all our products are based on.
Varun, it's perhaps a great time for a business and an industry like yours, because everyone is talking about reducing the usage and the consumption of plastic, whether it's at the retail end or it's at the commercial end. How are you perhaps working with the government on this? What has been the role of the government in fostering and encouraging this environment?
Well, I'm glad this question has really come up on a public forum, especially to get aside from the plastic industry, because pretty much what we hear is from the government or the political perspective. Now, plastic is one of the most fascinating materials. We actually would rather say it is one of the most modern invention done by humankind. Now you look at plastics, it's pretty much everywhere. You see your textiles, the polyesters, the nylons, they are all made of plastics. You see automobiles, the bumpers, the dashboards, pretty much everything in automobiles nowadays is plastics. Electrical, electronics, you see LEDs, you see appliance, you see everywhere around. You know, the moment you get up in the morning and the time when you sleep, you get in touch with plastics a lot. Now the question is, what is the real menace? Well, we should rather categorize plastics in two forms. First one being a durable plastic and the other one being the non-durable plastics. So let's come to the durable ones, are the ones who have a longer shelf life, like automobile, they have a longer shelf life. You have appliances, they have a longer shelf life. And especially with durable, there is no real issue of disposal. You know, they are well taken care of. Their life expectancy is very high. The concern is with the non-durable ones, the ones which have a shorter shelf life, a month, a day, you know, packaging, carry bags, you see water bottles. These are the non-durable plastics, which is really causing a big issue for the environment. And I think from the government side, they really have to look at how they want to approach plastics, because the real issue lies with the non-durable ones. And there are various solutions to it. There is a proper waste management disposal system available which can be made more efficient. India is one of the better recycling countries in the world right now, and more than that, there are various alternate solutions available. We at Calco, as I said, one of the most important principles for us is sustainability. We have also co-handed the implementation of biodegradable plastics with Ministry of Defense as well. So likewise, there are various solutions available, but I think the important point is that the ministry and the government should recognize that the real issue is in the non-durable plastics, which are not well taken care of.
Varun, I understand you export to markets like Africa and South Asia. Mine is a broader question though. I want to talk about what perhaps about the domestic market is lending itself to exports. Are there some inherent advantages that you have been able to take advantage of that you can talk our viewers through, and also perhaps what the environment has been here when it comes to encouraging more businesses that are perhaps looking at the export markets?
See, if you talk about having a global outreach, in India per se, I believe there are opportunities at two levels. First one is a direct, and the second one is the indirect. Now let's talk about the indirect market. Recently, government has initiated Make in India. They have initiated a lot of FDI inflows coming in the market. Now this gives an interesting edge and an added opportunity for not just larger corporates, but even for the MSMEs and the SMEs as well. The manufacturing facilities which are being set up as part of Make in India is not focused just to sell in India, but it is also focused to sell outside India. So what we are looking at is a global manufacturing hub wherein we can promote our products and have a substantial amount of exports as a greater possibility. Well, India, we all know, like China, is always labeled and tagged as the most efficient manufacturing nations. But India on a global platform has a higher edge in terms of trust, in terms of the ability to leverage better technologies. That's how India has always projected themselves. That gives us as a material supplier even a greater opportunity.
A business like yours comes directly under the Make in India net initiative, and I understand that the government is planning to increase the share of the manufacturing sector to GDP by 25% by 2022. So my question to you really is how you're viewing the environment. A lot of manufacturing companies that we speak with, Varun, are saying that it hasn't really made much of a difference, because by allowing a lot of other businesses and other sort of companies to really come into the domestic market, what is happening is that access to raw material therefore has not become easy, has not become cheap, and that's a key component for most manufacturing companies. Some other companies say that no, it has actually been beneficial, perhaps when it comes to accessing finance. On what side of the argument are you?
Well, let's look at the demand side. India has a greater demand. It is consumer of the products. We really do not depend on exports. So initiatives like Make in India, initiatives like GST implemented, now it has really settled, and I believe everyone is really reaping the benefits. Not just the larger ones, but even the smaller sectors are really reaping benefits of GST. Now, if the demand is there, we are net consumers of the products. The real issue really lied in the financial structure, which has been taken care of on the positive side with the implementation of NCLTs and a stronger understanding of insolvency and bankruptcy codes. These are interesting results of this government, I personally believe. But still, the access to finance is not there. The real growth of the economy is driven largely by the MSMEs, where it is, especially now, it is becoming increasingly difficult for someone to have access to finance. It's extremely difficult. I think we need to have right credit checks in place, though every bank is taking due diligence, but there are still a lot of foul plays still going on in the market, still a lot of NPs, which is affecting not just the bad loans, but it is also affecting the cost of the good loans as well.
My last couple of questions, Varun. I want you to do a SWOT analysis, if I may, on the plastics and the plastics and engineering industry. Really, what are some of the inherent strengths? What are some of the challenges really that you see in this industry?
Well, I think the biggest strength that we have in India, I would like to talk about the entire industry, is the availability of manpower. It's extremely important in today's time that we have access to manpower. But on the other side, we believe there is a lack of availability of skilled manpower, which is becoming extremely difficult. So I think for this, government really has to intervene and focus equally on other segments. I mean, it just goes not with the government side, but even the private side. We see a lot of focus on skilled manpower from the service segments. It's there in abundance, but manufacturing of late has taken a back foot.
All right, Varun, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you, Sananda. Thank you so much.
That wraps up this segment. We're going to take a very quick break, but on the other side, Tradeo Hub is going to be in focus. Just stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight our second influencer conversation is with Tradeo Hub. Our second influencer conversation tonight is with Ahmedabad-based Tradeo Hub. They're an e-distributor when it comes to industrial goods. Pooja Jain, who is in Ahmedabad, she caught up with them to really understand how they're leveling the playing field when it comes to procuring raw material and helping businesses, in fact, procure raw material and helping them both in the domestic as well as the global markets. Take a listen.
Our understanding is that Tradeo Hub intends to level the playing field when it comes to the distribution of industrialized goods. Certainly a lofty ambition. What will make that possible?
So the idea behind Tradeo Hub is to help SMEs procure their raw materials like their big global counterparts, So when it comes to procuring the raw materials, the biggest challenge they face is they don't have the demands which can be as equal to their global counterparts, So what at Tradeo Hub we are trying to build a platform is we wanted to aggregate their demands of a same raw materials from a same kind of SMEs and help them procure these raw materials from domestic as well as global suppliers, thus making it a bulk buying for SMEs, which normally their MNC counterparts are doing, thus enabling them to get a savings. And as on Tradeo Hub, we leverage technology, global sourcing network and aggregation to make it a last mile delivery transaction. So SMEs are getting benefits of raw materials using an end-to-end platform. So level playing field, by that we mean that we wanted to help them in procuring raw materials in a very efficient way by removing the middlemen from the supply chain and by putting in technology in between so that everything is real time.
And so give me a sense of the raw materials that you source and the industries that you service.
So as in Tradeo Hub, our focus is more on industrial segments like food and agro products, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, food ingredients, metals, and some miscellaneous items. The categories are carefully selected such that the market size of these industries is so big that Tradohub can continue to achieve its top line targets, and based in a western part of India where there are a lot of manufacturing industries in terms of polymers, chemicals, food, agro. So we decided to choose such categories where there are 70 to 80% of SMEs are looking into these segments only. So we will continue to focus on these segments wherein there is huge scope of opportunity in terms of raw materials supply.
Well, to my mind, to succeed in this business, one needs to be able to procure raw materials very swiftly, and that too at rock bottom prices. How does that factor into your business model?
So in fact, Tradohub is an aggregator, online aggregator of raw materials. So what we do is we aggregate demands. So it will be always a bulk buying, So our bulk discounts, our pricing from domestic or global suppliers will always be best. Then second, we are removing the middlemen from the supply chain. So we are eating up their margins, and we'll add our own margins, but then due to bulk discount, we'll always be a better in pricing or say competitive in pricing for SMEs. And secondly, we will be focusing on 5 to 7 suppliers for particular products. So as soon as we have an aggregated demands or orders, we'll pass it on to the suppliers. So per product we have 3 to 10 suppliers empaneled with us in our tech platform, and we'll float the offers to each one of them, and whatever the best offer comes in, we select based on our internal criteria and will forward it to buyers by adding our margins. So it will be a real-time process. So it will be a very swift, very economical, very easy to use for SMEs, and our ultimate vision is to help SMEs procure raw materials with a single click. So you imagine SME sitting in Kashmir or any parts of the world wanted to order their raw materials, they can do it with a single click using Tradeo Hub.
Now, inherently, SMEs who form the bulk of your customer base, they're cost sensitive. So how do you transfer this cost advantage to the end customer, who presumably is the most important part of this whole ecosystem?
Yes. So the reason for starting or founding Tradeo Hub is that we wanted to help SMEs procure raw materials in an easy, efficient and economical way. So, and why raw materials is because it's on 70% of the cost to the SMEs. And the biggest interest of us coming into this business is a repetition of orders, because it's a raw material, So we certainly know that SMEs are very cost effective and they wanted to be a competitive or remain competitive in the market. So our business model itself is developed in such a way that we aggregate demands on a larger scale, So earlier what was happening is SME is going to the dealer, distributor, stockist, importer, and they will negotiate or order through them, where the size of order is a minimal, or say 1/10 of what Tradeo Hub is buying from supplier. So the idea of Tradeo Hub itself lies in a bulk buying, so that it fetches the best price for SMEs, and then leverage technology, sourcing network, and giving all the raw materials in one platform comes after that, So on an average, Tradeo Hub SMEs are saving 1 to 3% per order, which is converted to a 25% annual savings on an average. And our SMEs average turnover size is 15 crores onwards, So you could imagine if 25% of the 15 crore is like a healthy savings for SMEs. So our pricing, because of our business model, is always cost effective to SMEs, and that's why we have achieved a growth of more than 400% year on year.
Beyond pricing mechanisms, SMEs care for transparency, period, whether it be maintaining a single point of contact, whether it be real-time order management. So how do you cater to these specific needs?
So as I said, Tradeo Hub is mainly a online aggregator, So our main business model lies in how we use technology to effectively do end-to-end transactions. So in our mobile app as well as in our website, we have a real-time pricing given to SMEs. They can track their live orders, they can track their past orders and invoices. So our ultimate India, it's like SMEs are the most miscommunicated entities across all sectors. The reason is there are a lot of middlemen that exist in the supply chain. When there are a lot of middlemen, your communication tends to get distorted over a lot of change. Delivery time is not ensured, a payment is not secured, a quality of the payments might be not as what is given.
Your margins erode as well.
Yes. So what we have defined is giving them a system wherein they can do the same thing with no human intervention at all. So what we are giving them a real-time order status, which is very unique in terms of international procurement. So you can imagine, like, your raw materials are coming from USA. What we are giving you a real-time updates on where your raw materials are at place, and so you can plan your production schedule accordingly. That's the biggest advantage, I would say. Otherwise they wouldn't be able to deliver their raw materials on time, and they will face losses for that as well, as raw material is a critical item for any SMEs. So leveraging technologies, we are giving them a full transparency, accountability on our part to SMEs.
So today it's fair to say that Tradeo Hub can be described as the leading integrated supplier of industrialized goods. What does Tradeo Hub's tomorrow look like? So
as we have continued our growth in last 5 years in terms of customer increment, repetitions of orders, new industries, new products, people satisfaction, supplier partner satisfactions, we'll continue to do that. But apart from that, we wanted to become an integrated global player for SME empowerment by supplying them raw materials, by helping them getting a better financing, by helping them a technology driven companies to make them more effective, transparent, and by helping them with their end-to-end requirements in terms of logistics, maybe a recruitment going forward. So we are planning to build an integrated model, and within very soon we wanted to achieve our $1 billion targets, which we have envisioned as a founders in first year itself, and hopefully we will achieve that very soon.
All right, completely out of time on this episode of Leaders of Tomorrow, but if you have any feedback for us, as always, we love hearing from you. Here's how you get in touch. leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com is our email ID. Get in touch with us also on social media. Sunanda_J is my personal Twitter handle. You can also get in touch with us on our official Twitter handle, LOT_ET now, or our Facebook page, Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.